This is the Iowa Weather Report for Friday, July 31st, 2015. And now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Ridge still continuing over the south and west and up into the Pacific Northwest as well. Still have a northwesterly flow around here, keeping our temperatures fairly tepid, typically in about the 80s or so, with some tolerable dew points around the lower to middle 60s. We still have that big low-pressure center over Hudson Bay, bringing a lot of showery weather there, and a couple of showers and storms along the southeast coast back into the Gulf, and the monsoonal flow continuing over the south and west, which continues into the weekend as well. Speaking of Saturday here, we still have northwesterly flow with some sunshine, a few more clouds on Saturday, temperatures a degree or two higher than today, 80s to around 90. We could see a shower or storm late Saturday night into the first half of Sunday. You can see here the showers are moving out by Sunday at midday. And then we could see a second round Sunday night into Monday, but those chances look a lot more slight than on Saturday night into Sunday. Then as we go into Monday, you can see a system is approaching from the west. That could bring a shower or storm, mainly in our southern and western counties, although our confidence is not too high in that. But that system does draw closer and brings a little bit more precipitation here as we move into Tuesday. Readings would still be mainly in the 80s, but any cloudiness and rain that lasts most of the day could keep the readings a lot lower than that. Wednesday looks to be fairly calm and quiet. A couple of showers and storms off to our south and east, and some across the northern plains. Monsoonal flow continues over the south and west, and air mass thunderstorms continue over the south and east. Then as we go into Thursday, a fairly decent system comes in from the north and west. This could bring us some showers and thunderstorms here on Thursday. It's too early to determine anything with regards to possible rainfall amounts or even severe weather. We'll keep watching it though. Then as we move toward next Friday, we still have that flow out of the north and west. Still have a ridge over the southern plains back into the south and west. Trough digging into the northwest will finally begin to cool them off as well. Trough still remains over the north and east, and a little bit of showery weather around here. Monsoonal flow continues over the south and west, a bit of activity in the northwest, and some activity also across the eastern seaboard down into the Gulf Coast. And then as we move to the extended period on August the 11th, well, that ridge over the south really starts to expand. It includes almost the entire west into the plains and the northern plains as well, but we still are just on the periphery of that. Still have a bit of a weakness over the east, and it's just close enough that we can still see a little bit of activity coming in from the north and northwest with some showers and storms at that time. And this being on the 11th, that's only a few days before the state fair begins in Des Moines on the 13th. And then as we move into the state fair, in fact, the first weekend of the state fair, this is on the 15th at the end of the forecast, that ridge really starts to flatten out across the south and west. Weakness in the flow across the east. A couple of systems across the northern tier of the country could bring maybe a bit of activity into our northern counties, but this is still a little more than 2 weeks out, and we could still see a widespread change on this in the coming days, so stay tuned. Satellite image from last evening. Monsoonal flow continues over the south and west with some showers and storms there. A couple of showers and storms along the Gulf Coast, and a couple of clouds with a few showers moving off the east coast. Fairly dry and quiet across the northern tier of the country. But the watch warning map from last evening was also fairly quiet. A couple of heat issues across the northwest. Got over 100 in Portland, Oregon yesterday. Some flash flood watches in northeast New Mexico and the western parts of the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle, and quiet elsewhere across the country. But the KPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock shows rainfall around here could be around a ½ an inch with some isolated totals closer to 1. Heaviest across the Gulf Coast and Florida, and some with the monsoonal flow over the south and west.